We are now joined by Brooks Boyer, White Sox Chief Revenue Marketing Officer. Very busy guy. Appreciate you coming down and doing an interview with us, buddy.
Hey, when I heard Jordan Lazowski was actually going to be in the ballpark, and he wasn't just going to be bleeding, typing mean, angry
That's
stuff.
crazy.
I'm like, I have to come in here.
That's wild.
I have to be part of this. And just for the record, for the show, I have some history with Jordan, and I'm sure you guys give him, a lot of crap about anything. But
Usually
I
my
can
job.
attest, Jordan is one hell of a baseball coach, and my son played for him, so he has a little bit of street cred.
So it's on the record now. So
Yeah.
the behind the, I talk about being a coach way too often on these things. And it's like the whole thing is like, oh, what is he a coach or what does he really do? So I'm glad we're on the record that I
You're
didn't
on the
destroy
record,
your
yeah.
son's career. That I know what I'm doing. We are on the record.
Well, but I did say to my son, remember Jordan's a pitching coach. If he's trying to help you hit, just ignore that.
That's fair. That's fair.
His ego is already through the roof, so it's just going to get significantly worse now that he's actually credited
I
with
didn't
that.
know it could go any higher.
It's not that bad.
Well, I mean, on the subject, he does talk about coaching all the time. Definitely makes it a point of emphasis. Anytime he makes a point, he always wants to make sure that he's 100% right and can't be questioned on it by saying that he coaches baseball.
That's true.
I've
I've seen
I'll
that.
admit
I've
to
seen
that.
But transitioning that, I guess Jordan, maybe I'm going to do the interview here. For this year, one of the things that I think has elevated the White Sox into us at least having a light at the end of the tunnel here is the coaching and starting with Will with what he has done. And when you have someone who is as level but experienced and is a communicator like Will, it certainly helps. It gives us confidence from a marketing standpoint that what we're doing in that clubhouse and on the field gives us some hope for the future. I've used this analogy before, is we have to own the fact that we're in a very dark cave and there was no light. And you think about what was coming out of the clubhouse last year, until like Grady took over, and now what's coming out this year, it's quiet, which means you have a really good leader in the clubhouse, and it's so important for us moving forward with the young guys, and hopefully down the road adding to the young guys, whether through our own system or through free agency, to build that competitive team, to have someone as stable, in the coaching department as our manager, as Will, and the team that he's put around him, and our development guys. So, as Jordan will say, he's in the dugout a lot. I think we're in a really good spot with Will leading us moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been a culture change across the board with that. Will comes off very methodical, not too high, not too low. The expectations are always set on a day-to-day basis, and it feels like something that this team has really needed for a while, especially when you have a crop of younger players, top prospects, Colson Montgomery. It's something these guys need. They need that structure. Will Venable comes off like a guy who understands what it takes to be a major league ball player, what it takes to stay at this level, and obviously with his success at Texas before he came here, how to get to that next level.
Right. Well, he knows what success looks like. Clearly, as a player and as a manager, Chris addressed our front office. Because obviously we're going into an important season. We're going into our season. The off season is the business side. Planning and executing this is our season. And Chris addressed all of them, and he said something that I thought was really interesting. Is Will takes care of his body, he takes care of his mind, and he always comes to the ballpark ready to win that day, with a plan to win that day. And he hasn't been overwhelmed with anything. And I do think sitting next to Bruce Bochy, and we hate to say it, but even when his time at the Cubs, he got to see how does Theo do things. I think Madden was the man. Was Madden the manager? Or was it Rossi? It was Madden.
It was pretty close to when that changed.
So he's seen it, and he's a bright guy. So he He gets it, and he brings all the right things to the table every single day, and that's what you want out of a manager. So, to me, first year's a success. Everyone wants to see continued evolution and continued success. So it's really kind of at an interesting point, and a fun point for us is we can be honest with our fans. Certainly feels like we got the right guy.
Yeah, and I think we all are on board with this team trending up, and so hopefully that makes your job a bit easier. But what was it like maybe during the past, 2023, 2024, still trying to communicate to the fans about the team valuing them, during a period in which it was hard to feel the love coming the other way?
100%. I mean, you guys know this as well as anybody. I don't know if I can swear on this or not, but you can't
go right ahead. I break that rule all the time.
You can't bullshit White Sox fans. You really can't. I mean, it's one of the things. I worked at the Bulls for 10 years, and obviously the Jordan run. We could say we could have missteps and we could get over those. When you win a World Series in 2005, you can have some missteps and get over those. With this fan base, understanding how they feel, what they look at, you can't have missteps, which means you have to be honest and transparent. We own 41 and 121. That was us.
Yeah.
So when you are in that very dark place, how do you best connect with the fans? We got a little bit lucky. We had a 125th anniversary coming up. We didn't know if the Crochet trade for a bunch of minor leaguers that I may have read about him somewhere. Those four guys really good. We multiplied. So what Chris is doing on that side. And we can't control it. It goes on between the lines, but we can figure out how can we best be honest with our fans. We lowered prices because we had to be honest because we have all the data, and Jordan's going to love this part. We looked at all the data, and when people have season tickets and they can't sell them for season ticket prices on the secondary market, and I know every ticket that gets sold on the secondary market, and when they're not making more on the secondary market and they're making less, we have to adjust the prices. That's just being honest. We have to be honest on the upside, we have to be honest on the downside. So you make changes like that. You say, what does connect with fans? Well, our history does connect with fans. We knew the City Connects were going to connect with fans. But the job Mike Downey, Gareth Brennan did from a marketing perspective of the giveaways, even all the way to the last day of the season, I don't know, I can't promise you the radios are going to work. That's why we put quotes around it works, it's supposed to work. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but it's pretty damn cool. And I have a Comiskey radio, giveaway, all the things we've done, the players we've brought back, all done to try to connect with fans. And we got a little bit lucky because you look at our TV ratings, they were very high at the beginning of the season. Then we started sucking on the field and they dipped. All of a sudden, the second half, these players start to figure it out and we're winning some games. Our TV ratings go back up. And we feel blessed that we're going to be in a position to be able to market some young players. Last year we didn't have players to connect to the fans. Now we've got some players to connect, and we've got to tell their stories in the off season. We're already seeing more interest in season tickets for next year, more than we anticipated. But we have to be honest and transparent with our fan base. This is still a work in progress, but man, we can start to dream. You go from 41. A 20-game improvement. Let's hope we can get to a 20-game improvement. If you have a 20-game improvement again, which is hard to do in baseball, I get it. Jordan, you can't spit all your analytics at me that this doesn't happen.
Just not right now.
But what if you're 500 going into September, you're relevant in the wild card. So, can a young team get hot? Can a young team do what Cleveland is doing right now, where you can start to dream on this thing a little bit? It's not linear. I'm not predicting, another 20-game improvement, but, darn, it's nice to be able to have those conversations that our fans can get behind because there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
And I think there's a point at which, for you, it just makes your job easier. I'm sure and you kind of talked about it a little bit, but I think I'm a little curious, just the strategy for you behind some of the promotional items, things like that, 125th anniversary, kind of not easier, but
right.
Not easy, but easier,
helps.
Rather. It helps. More so it's I'm not calling you old, but I might be. You've done this for a while. Is there a point where it's hey, it's either hard to innovate or it's hard to find something new, or just maybe the overall strategy.
Right.
Just kind of, because this is the strategy, it's kind of everlasting, essentially.
No, well, it's evolution, and Jordan did just call me old. I'm pretty sure.
I was going to call someone old,
he tries to do those
you
slights
today.
and pretend he's not.
let's look across the way, and there's another podcast, and Mike Downey, who's our head of promotions, is younger. He spent some time with the Kansas City Chiefs. He comes here. My job is to make sure we're constantly evolving. We're constantly raising the bar on ourselves, and there's no exclusivity to good ideas, and to have a team, a marketing team full of younger people, like I'm not the right person to figure out how do we best connect on TikTok. We have to have the people who are living there. I like TikTok. I'm a fan.
You set me up pretty well for that, but I kind of let it go.
So to have people on staff who live in that, who are in the culture, to lean on them. And I use that line a lot with our staff is no one has exclusivity on good ideas. And we should be trying everything to see what connects with our fans, because what connects with someone who's clearly old as me is going to be different than what connects with Jordan or someone who's in college or in their young 20s. We have to be cognizant of all of that, and we have to have people on staff who understand those markets and how to get to those markets. So yes, we're always innovating and figuring out ways to connect, because what might connect with you may be the players, but what might connect with that suburban mom might be their little league coming, or a giveaway, or a value type play. So we have to be cognizant. We can't be stale. We've always got to continue to push ourselves to innovate. And this offseason is going to be no different, but this offseason will be different because, like I said, last year, no disrespect to the players that were here, you can't put them out front. These guys, you might be able to put out front. So we have to shift, our thinking and our lens. But also, I've learned over the years too, is don't make promises. Are you guys old enough to remember the Adam Dunn All In campaign when we were all out by May?
Yeah.
Hey, I was all in.
I was too.
You had me.
I give Hawk Harrelson all the credit in the world for selling that as long as he did for us, because he was the biggest Adam Dunn guy you'd ever heard.
Right.
But
we were all in, and we did. We spent, because it wasn't just Dunn. It was Dunn, LaRoche, Melky Cabrera, Samardzija might have been part of that. David
it was
Robertson,
pretty close
I
in
think,
there.
came
Yeah.
in. We shoved all the chips in. So being an aggressive guy, I'm like, hell yeah, we're all in. This is going to work. We had flags. We had all that. I had Jerry call me in one day, and he'd be like, he said, this is probably like June, like April, May, June. He's like, we probably shouldn't make promises in ad campaigns. And that was like when like Boris and Bernstein were calling me all out. You try not to, what we've evolved to, try not to make any promises, but also we want to get people excited for this, but we have to tell the truth.
I definitely made fun of that campaign because there's I remember
you did.
the all in. There's like 5 photos, 5 guys on that photo. I can't remember which 5, but I definitely made fun. I do remember that.
I do still have an all in car flag. It's a reminder. It's a reminder to me of we hit. If you remember, this is going way back. We did a whole Sox Pride campaign, and we did a comparison of the White Sox and the Cubs. That just hit to the core, and Sox Pride was kind of the whole thing, that hit to the truths of, and White Sox fans could really get behind it. So we're always looking for ways for Sox fans to get behind it, and obviously grow some new fans along the way, which we think some of these young kids might be able to do.
Yeah, to your credit though, like it is hard to do what you're doing. You said nice things about me. I'll say some nice things about you. It is hard. Like
called me old.
I'm making up for it. I don't envy. There are days I'm like, I don't envy what you got to do when the team. It's the worst record in the history of baseball, and now you're starting to see some of the fruits of it. But there are days where I'm like, I would hate to be in your office.
Well, I've been told, you've got the worst job in sports, that type thing, and I said, well, hang on to the last 2 words. in sports. Like, if we were 41 and 121 and we were the people that were finding, cancer cures, that'd be pretty good. We're in sports. And I tell people we get to come work in a ballpark. People are envious. So take advantage. Like, we could certainly try to feel sorry for ourselves or blame the product. No, evolve. Find out what connects. Okay, maybe we're not connecting with thousands of fans. Maybe we're connecting with hundreds of fans. But make those connections even in the most challenging of times. Remember, we work in baseball. Thank God I don't work in a bank. I don't go to a corporate office building. I'm at a ballpark at any time. There's nothing more romantic than an empty ballpark. Like, if you're having a bad day, go walk in the ballpark.
Right.
You start to feel a little bit better about it. So, we're stewards of a great brand, and people care about this. Even at 41 and 121, people care about this. So we've got to put everything together that we can for our fans that are paying attention at that time.
Before we let you go, we got 5 rapid-fire questions for you.
Do I get to ask them back?
No.
Yes.
Because I don't have answers to my
We
questions.
should do that.
I don't have answers if you guys got answers. But, all right. Which actor would play you in a movie?
Probably, I was always told, like, growing up, that Woody Harrelson would have to play me.
I like
that but like the younger Woody Harrelson, not like the now kind of bald older Woody Harrelson. I still have my hair, so
That's
I'd go with Woody Harrelson.
That's fair.
Can you guys get on board with that or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine.
No, I can see it.
Yeah.
Definitely Hollywood's going to have to do him some favors with the hair, but
Yeah.
I can see it.
It wasn't outrageous. I'll give you it.
Okay, good.
So, top thing on your bucket list.
Top thing on my bucket list
Jordan gets fired from Montini baseball.
is I mean, state championship at Montini would be great, but for me, top thing on my bucket list is the White Sox to win another World Series, to celebrate with these fans. My oldest son was born in 2005. My son, who's 2 years younger, who has given me shit for years and years and years about the success of the Chicago White Sox. I'd love to shut him up and also for this fan base who's been through so much to win another World Series. Before I'm shipped out of here, I'd love to win another World Series.
One of the cool things I think about our World Series celebration, say compared to the Cubs, was just how it started on the south side and just worked its way up.
Yeah.
Like it was pandemonium about, like, if you had to get anywhere on that day, good luck.
Well, and it was generational. I mean, I was on one of the buses. The generations, it was just, it meant so much. And again, the Cubs won in 2016. I'm sure it meant a lot to their fan base, but it did hit different when we won, and it will again. At some point, it just hits different.
I like that. Now, what temperature do you set your thermostat before you go to bed?
68.
Again,
That's
that is the
two
correct
straight answers
answer.
of 68. That's pretty good.
It's the perfect temperature.
It is. We're having a sports conversation here, so I don't know the audience, but like I know Brody Boyer, the guy I was telling you about that I don't like very much. I know what number he'd throw out there. He's either going to throw out one above, or he's going to be a high school and be like 67, 67.
I know. Being a high school coach right now, you can't say those two numbers in a row right now,
Jordan,
and get taken seriously.
Can you, at some point, have you seen the new kind of like TikTok theme of these kids are doing all 6'7", 67, but then you have someone who's your age comes in and says, you guys don't understand anything about numbers, and then it's the 1738 song, 1738. Can you do that for us?
Sure, I will give it my best shot.
I will hold him to that.
Last two, if you had a walk-up song, what would it be? Or what was your walk-up song, whatever?
And you can't say Thunderstruck.
No, I wouldn't. If it be, it wouldn't be. I'd probably go something like. It might be either. Can I give a few?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you got to go maybe Mr. Brightside. Like you think that's
you
a
are
banger.
a Notre Dame guy.
That's a banger. Like right from coming out of my cage. If I'm walking up, coming out, I'm doing just fine. I could go old school and maybe go like a little It's Tricky, Run DMC.
Nice.
would be pretty solid. Or if I had to This is a great question because every time I'm in the car, I think of, I hear stuff. I'd love to be Mariano Rivera and or walk into Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
That would be pretty badass.
That's a solid one too.
I always thought, because we all think about it. We all think about, like, what if? Intergalactic by Beastie Boys would have been like, if I'm coming out of the bullpen in the ninth inning, get the lights going on, kind of like how Liam used to have it when he came out. I think it would just be electric.
Yeah, it is so fun. Like back in the day, you could have conversations with the guys. Now they all have all their own stuff. I do like my draw's coming out to Chance, that's pretty good.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, final question. Know your Notre Dame guy, fellow Notre Dame. Three Notre Dame guys up here. They got the win yesterday. Are they gonna figure it out in football? Is it another run in the playoffs?
Again, a glass half full guy. Yes, it's another run to the playoffs. Even though we give up 30 points to Purdue, which I think us four might be able to. I hope there's some evolution on the defensive side. The offense looks really good. Evolution on the defensive side. That USC, I don't know if you guys stayed up late night and watched USC's offense against Michigan State. It's a really good offense. Good. Watching our defense for 3 weeks, I was there for A&M. And so the defense is a concern, but a lot of faith in Marcus Freeman. Get the defense going. We run the table. We're in. Give me another shot at Miami.
We'll just win every game 60-50. Like if we have to, we have
whatever
to.
it takes.
Yeah, I mean, Lincoln Riley, that's a different animal when it comes to offense.
That's right.
As a Wisconsin Badgers fan who has no room to talk, good luck.
So I have a daughter that's a Badger. She's a Wisconsin grad. I'm now advocating for Wisconsin to go back to straight up Big Ten football, where you have the biggest linemen that just maul people, and it's like 4 yards per carry. Well, I'm ready to get back to Wisconsin football.
I'm 100% on board with that. It would be a lot easier if we weren't on our third string center already and it's week 3.
Get him out of Wisconsin. Get him out of whatever. Get those big dudes. David Edwards was a Downers Grove North kid. Grew up with one of my kids. So I want those big uglies back just mauling people at Wisconsin.
I hear you. First Badger game I ever went to, Joe Thomas's senior day. So, Brooks, it's been great talking with you, man.
Wait. Do we get to do the rapid fire back? You have to answer my questions. I get 3 rapid fire questions.
All right, Laz.
You got time, we got
Laz, give them the list. Fire.
Ready? Favorite prospect in the White Sox system? Go. And I'll tell you guys if you're right or wrong.
That's tough because there are just quite a few guys that I've been watching.
What part of rapid fire is confusing?
All right, pass.
Antonacci.
Does Teal still count?
No, he's in the big leagues.
Now I'm gonna. Schultz. I'll stick with Schultz.
Wrong answer. Caleb Bonnemer. He'll be the guy.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
What you want to see next year? Like right now, there's some promise. What's the one thing you want to see in April about the Chicago White Sox that tells you, because you're all critics, that tells you the White Sox are taking a step forward by the middle of April?
It's a rapid fire question?
What is it? No, you got to start this time.
No, you're starting. You passed.
I want to answer at first base long term.
Answer at first base long term.
I think young pitching success, whether that's Schultz or the guys we already have right now who are doing good, not great.
I would like a similar one, just more security around the pitching staff. Yeah. What it's going to look like.
My answer to that would probably be I want to see us clean up some of the little things. Young guys are going to make mistakes. They're learning at the big league level, but they're learning at a rapid pace of us cleaning a lot of things up, which will help us in those one-run games. A record's not great in one-run games.
No.
I want to see us win some one-run games early. All right, and then this is just a two-person, okay? What is Jordan's call on a 1-2 count as a strikeout pitch to his high school pitchers? What finger is Jordan throwing down to the catcher?
Change up dead center.
I was going to say change up tailing away, but I like the change up there.
I'm going slider away. What do you got?
It was my typical one is fastball up and then breaking ball away.
Right, okay.
That's typically what I do.
That
so anyone watching,
would turn into a change up dead center.
There's a little bit that you can learn from it. But change up. Right. It's not a bad call.
And I'll get Quinn Boyer to watch. You coached Quinn Boyer for 4 years. This is my son. Just to get him to make sure he listens to the podcast, he told me one thing. He called me after we got our 50th win, and he said he couldn't be more happy that we got the 50th win. I'm like, oh, yeah, I think we can get some more. He goes, no, I'm happy because Coach Jordy told me from the beginning of the year that we have to get 50 wins because he had 49 and a half, and he was hammering it.
I did hammer the over, and I was very happy.
Yeah.
I think a few of us did.
Up to it, I was like texting him, "Hey, 3 left, 2 left," and he'd be texting me. It was funny. So he was as invested as I was.
And what is your favorite Quinn Boyer story?
Favorite Quinn Boyer story? Okay, so there was I don't remember the specifics, but this was our relationship in a nutshell. There was one game, he was basically my backup pitching coach. Like, if there was a decision to question, my God, was he going to question it. I lit into him one day. I don't know if it was one of the playoff games. It was right before. It was a high moment where I just lit him up. To the point where I'm like yelling at a senior like this. And like 3-4 innings later, he gets a hit or something. He walks up to me and goes, I was pissed because I was like 0 for my last 5. I took it out on you. I'm like, I was mad we gave up a couple runs. I took it out on you. You're like, we're good? We're good. Hug, walked away like it never happened. Like, that was our relationship in general. It was like, we were going to yell at each other in that moment. Truly, he was my backup pitching coach.
Yeah.
But like that just exemplified how much he cared and how much he wanted to win. And I couldn't fault a kid for that.
And my son loves Jordy and still communicate. They talk about White Sox, baseball, hitting, and it's just thank you for creating the relationships with all these kids. And,
of course.
And thank you guys for what you guys are doing. You guys are the best mouthpieces for us to our fans, and happy to help you guys out however we can. And it would be helpful if we could get some more wins.
Always, but do
Absolutely.
really appreciate your time.
No, we appreciate it, Brooks. Obviously got a busy schedule. Got to deal with Jordan coaching your kids. So that's a headache in its own self. But genuinely, we appreciate you coming out. And we appreciate the White Sox for hosting us.
And thank you for letting me do rapid fire.
Of course.
Shift the gears.
Thanks,
guys.
Take care.